about the big things, so say make we talk about the small things, so yeah. Ah yeah, oh, baby, you. Rara, oh, yeah.
Hello, my people out there. Well done. This is Edu Radio, your talk magazine program committed to inform you and enlighten you on the problem that has bedeviled our educational system. Today, we have come again. We are in our own Edu Radio studio. We therefore our own Edu Radio studio. And because of that, we bring una enough. As we tell you now, Edu Radio, now the program, when they to take a critical look at waiting to hold our educational system down. Why be say our own students no fit compete side by side with their international counterparts? Why be say the infrastructures in our educational system don't suffer the way it is suffer and it still they suffer? Why is it that the hostels, why is it that the lecture halls, why is it that almost the teaching aids, some students goes to school, don't even get to see what they could come out can't do? Because why? Where our technical schools day? All of these questions, now him we bring to you. We say make we no sit down look. Our students they Ghana. Over 75%, over 75,000 students they Ghana. Nigeria no good, then they go Ghana. If the educational system they good, how many of them they Nigeria? Why didn't they come Nigeria? 30,000 Nigerian students they South Africa. What did they do for South Africa? You and I either paid a token to guarantee South Africa's freedom when they mean under apartheid. But today, South Africa education, among the ranking in Africa, South Africa, 2 universities in South Africa came first and second. In Egypt, 10,000 Nigerian students in Egypt. If our educational system they good, how many, not even Cotonou, Niger, how many of them they come Nigeria? Because it is unfortunate. With well over 146 both federal, state, and private universities, and over 83 polytechnics, with over 82 colleges of education, both public, private, and government as well. Where are we going? What are we doing? All these things will they suffer so, will they move on from here? Capital flight, education, money, go give them. The time now. Now I'm going to challenge you. Not just sit down, look. Join me. Join Edu Radio. We they bring this program, like I said, we put our own aside, bring and come for you. For our children, for your children, especially those government children. Where they join body with us. Hope we take our education to the next level. This one, our Facebook page, if you see us there, facebook.com/eduradio.ng. Our Instagram page at eduradio.ng. Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, eduradio.ng. Our webpage, be www.eduradio.com.ng. Today, we don't give an English class lesson. We don't give an biology. We don't give several courses. Today, we get another lesson we don't bring to give an government. Join us. Enjoy them while it roll. Teacher, over to you.
Hello, good day. My name is Alozie Festus. I will be your government teacher. I hope we are good to go, knowing the fact what we are into, the total lockdown in our nation, not just in our nation, globally. I'll be glad having you. We'll be looking at government as a subject. We are looking at government as a subject. We'll be looking at government as a process. We'll be looking at government as a subject matter. by the end of this study, students should be able to define the word government. Secondly, students should be able to define government as an institution. And thirdly, students should be able to explain government as a process or an art of governing. We'll be taking it one after the other. In our previous knowledge, of course, you know that as our viewers, you have been hearing about government. The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the government of the Federal Republic of Ghana, and so on and so forth. Definitely, Nigeria is a government, a functional government. In our instructional material this morning, we'll be making use of flashcard. Now, let's quickly go to the introduction proper. Government as an institution by Dix. Government as an institution, simply means the activities involved in controlling a country. I repeat, government simply means the activities that are involved in controlling a country. In other words, there is somebody who is responsible in controlling the government. Government don't just happen. There are people who make it to happen. In other words, we know as some of us who are aspiring to become lawyers, to become philosophers, to become political scientists, to become psychologists, to study international relations, just name it. You know, you cannot do without government. Of course, if you ask me, where we are right now is a country and is being called a government, an existing government. Now, we'll be going through all this one after the other. We believe that the government of Nigeria is working. If it is not working, I don't think we would have been here. So government as an institution of a state may be defined as an agency or a machinery through which the will of the state is formulated, expressed, and attained. If there is no agency or a body of regulate people activity, the society will degenerate. Means that the society will not be functioning. That is what the great educationalist Thomas Hobbes called primitive society, where life is short, where life is solitary, where life is, rubbish. In other words, there is no existence of government. We'll be looking at government as a process or art of governing. In other words, government as a process or art of governing may be defined as a body vested with the power and authority for maintaining security, peace, and stability, in making and enforcing conventional and fundamental laws in our given state or society. When we talk about conventional or fundamental, we are talking about traditional laws or ordinary laws that we are born into, and we enforce it in the government. All right. Through the formulation and interpretation of policies in the state, government as a process or art of governing regulates activities of the citizens, and at the same time, the affairs of the state. Now, we'll be looking at the organs of government into three organs. We have the executives, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. I hope you are following. Now, let's explain this. The executives of the government is vested with the power of executing and implementing laws made by this. They execute and implement laws. In other words, they run the affairs of the government. Am I communicating? And we all know that the legislature is saddled with the responsibility of making laws. Now, this legislature during just India is being divided into two: bicameral and unicameral legislature. When we talk about bicameral, we are talking about they are existing in twos. We have the, let's take Nigeria as an example. We have the Senate, and we have the House of the Representatives. In the House of the Senate, the Senate chamber, which is the red chamber, we have the Senate President being the Senate leader in that red chamber. We have the House of Rep, we have the Speaker, who serves as the head in that green chamber. Now, we move on to the judiciary. Judiciary is one, and it's being headed. What do? They interpret the law. And in Nigeria, we consider them as the common hope, the hope of the common man. The hope, the last hope of the common man. In other words, they make sure that the common man is not being cheated in society. Justice is being delivered. In other words, that everybody is equal before the law. All right? Now, we are going to look at government, the way it functions. Does our government functions? Yes, if you ask me, we have a functionable government. And one of the functions of government is to make law. They make law through the legislatures, both the bicameral and the unicameral. 2, they defend the country, defense of the country. In other words, they defend their country, their territory. They maintain and man our borders. Number 3, they administer justice. Justice is being administered through the judiciary. And number 4, economic function. In other words, making sure that the economy of our country is booming. Number 5, political function. Definitely, we must have a functionable political party, a functionable political platform, a functionable political arena. And number 6, protection of life and property. Obviously, you know that if your life is being threatened, definitely you're in danger. Just take a look at what we have at hand right now, the COVID-19. Definitely, the purpose of locking down is to make sure that the life of every Nigeria is being protected. And at the same time, our property is being secured. Provision of social amenities, that is our number 7. Social amenities or social services. Making sure that our road is working, making sure that we have water supply in our various places, making sure that we have electricity, making sure we have all the social needs. And the last, not the least, making sure that they maintain our external relations. When we talk about maintaining our external relations, maintaining a relationship between Nigeria and another country, then why do we study government? Why do we study government? A lot of people, if you ask them, they say they want to become a politician, they want to become a lawyer, they want to become this, they want to become that, you know. And sometimes they forgot what they want to study. Now look at one of the purpose or importance of studying government. One, governments prepare us to take active part in the government of our country. I repeat, government prepare us to take active part in the government of our country. In other words, you are qualified to be elected. You are qualified to vote and to be voted for, which is what we call franchise. By the time you are up to 18 years, definitely you are qualified to go and cast your vote. You are qualified to stand for election as well. Number two, it makes us to know our rights, duties, and obligations. That is one of the reasons why we study government. One, it makes us to know our rights, our duties as a citizen, and our obligation as a citizen. And number three, it equips us to be professional politicians. If you ask me, we can, you know, remember our elites, the people that make the country called Nigeria to be in existence. We talk about Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. We talk about Awolowo. We talk about Tafawa Balewa. We talk about Herbert Macaulay. Just mention them. And these people come together and they fought for the independence of Nigeria. And today we have our great country called Nigeria. Number four, it makes us to understand the type of system of government adopted in our country. Yes, while studying government help you to understand and to know the type of system of government we are running. And definitely in Nigeria, some of us may not really understand the type of system of government we are running. And if you ask me, yes, Nigeria is running a presidential system of government. Nigeria is also practicing what we call a democratic system of government. And number five, it inculcates the spirit of nationalism and patriotism in us. Yes, the spirit of nationalism. Nigeria is a nation. It's a group of people that came together. If you ask me, we have 36 states. We have 6 geopolitical zones. Initially, it was regions. We have 6 geopolitical zones right now. These people came together and they agree that they will be called Nigeria. And number 6, it liberates us from political ignorance. Yes, some of us are political ignorant. When you go closer to government, to study government, you will agree with me that government helps us to create an awareness, to know where we are, and to also know where we are going to. In other words, removing the ignorance, what you don't know. You remove the subject government, remove political ignorance in our life. In conclusion, I conclude by saying that without government, the government of Nigeria will not move forward. There will be an absence of government, what we call anarchy. Anarchy will be in existence. And when anarchy is in existence, government is not working. So if you have any question or comment, join us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/eduradio.ng, on our Twitter handle, eduradio.ng. welcome back. I hope you enjoy the first lesson or the first episode. I hope you enjoy it. All right, we'll take a look at the other functions of government. As earlier, I told you that our government, or every government, is saddled with the responsibility of making laws. Two, is also saddled with the responsibility of defending its country. The government of a nation must be able to defend its country using the security agencies, the military, and other paramilitary to make sure that our landed borders are being protected. And I, at the same time, told you that every country must make sure that its economy is in a state of booming. In other words, when we have a booming country, we have a healthy country. Yes, if there is food on the table for everyone to eat, not just food to eat. If the economy is moving, is booming, everybody here will be paradise on earth. In other words, me and you will not struggle on how to make sure that we come up on our day-to-day activity. At the same time, we know that the government is also saddled in making sure that they provide social amenities. I mentioned earlier that our road must be up to standard. We must make sure that we live in a good houses. Our government should be able to provide good accommodation. They will also make sure that our electricity is working. You know, in Nigeria, we have this mentality of NEPA. You know, they have taken light within an hour. We don't supposed to be expressing that in Nigeria. We must make sure that we come together. All hands must be on deck to make sure that the Nigeria government is working. Provision of employment opportunity. All these are the things I spoke before we go for break. Now, I told you again that Nigeria or any government must make sure that they provide job opportunity to each citizen. You know, in Nigeria and other parts of the country, the rate of unemployment is at high increase. Even right now, because of the pandemic ravaging globally around the world, many people tend to lose their jobs. And this is the question we must continue to ask our government. Aftermath of the COVID-19, which way is our job going to be secured? How do you want to provide a new job, or making sure that the existing job is not being collapsed? And I told you initially that the importance of government is to prepare us to take active part in the government of our country. I also told you that government must make sure that the rights of each citizen, the duties and the obligation of each citizens is not being abused. The fundamental human rights, you have the right to live, life, the right to move about. You have the right to form an association. You have the right to own a property. You have the right to do whatever thing you want to do. And at the same time, I told you that the government must maintain laws and order. Yes, even when we have some fundamental human rights, there are issues that may arise that the right of an individual in a given state or nation can be withheld. Just like for example, the lockdown, we have the right to move around, but right now we cannot move around. You see, in some states, some state governors have, passed a curfew in some states, restricting movement. Before now, we move around, go to markets, go to a worship center. All these are the importance of government, or the reason why we study government. All right, I told us earlier on that governments of every country must function, must be a functionable one. All right. We as well want to look at the structure and the nature of government. When we are talking about government, now we are talking about government in Nigeria per se. We know that Nigeria, the name Nigeria was given by a woman, Flora Shaw. She gave the name Nigeria, meaning people from the Niger. And since then, in the year 1960, Nigeria became an independent nation. And in 1963, Nigeria got her republic. Nigeria became a republic in 1963. And since then, Nigeria has become a functionable and existing government. And we know that in 1960 through 1966, the country operated under three regional structures. Three regional structures, the North, the East, and the Western region, respectively. And we move on to, in 1967 and in 1975, Nigeria also functioned under 12 states. Of course, you know that the man in affairs then, the Major General Yakubu Gowon, he created Nigeria. He created 12 states. And in 1976, 19-state structure existed with the capital territory. In 1987 to 1991, 21-state structure with the federal capital territory. And in 1991, we also have a landslide of new states. Nigeria rise from 21 states to 30-state structure. And we know, of course, that the present capital of Nigeria, FCT Abuja, moved from its former place, Lagos, to Abuja in 1991. From 1991 to 1996, we have 30-state structure. And in 1996 to date, which is the last creation of states, 1996, I think we can remember some of the states that was created in the year 1996. We remember Bayelsa State, Nasarawa State, Zamfara State, and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to look at the evaluation to evaluate what we have done so far. You must be able to define government in your own way. How you understand the word government in your own view of point. Define government. Secondly, explain